What's up, flight simmers? It's me, FS Madness, here with the review of the Piper PA-28R Arrow 3. There has been a recent update from Just Flight today, and they've released a update to fix the ground roll issue when the parking brake's released. Just a quick rundown of this aircraft. The PA-28R Arrow 3 is a 4-seated piston-engined aircraft equipped with a retractable tricycle landing gear. It's also fitted with a constant speed propeller, and it's the ideal aircraft for touring and cross-country and instrument training. We're going to get into some positives about this aircraft first. As you can see, the exterior textures are 4K and they are actually really nice. They reflect the sun. The PBR texturing on it is absolutely incredible, although as we get underneath the aircraft they do start to diminish in quality and resolution, but that isn't really that much of an issue for me, as I'll be spending more time on the inside of the aircraft. It's got real audio which has been recorded from a Piper PA-28R, and it's also really great with performance. I'm on about 40 to 50 FPS at the moment, including all the other mods that I have installed as well. It has really good control overall, especially on the ground now after the update, although there are slight issues which we'll cover in a few moments time. To install this aircraft, all you have to do is go over to the Just Flight website, purchase it for £29.99 and run the installer and enter in all your information there. I believe it's also available from the marketplace, so if you want to do it that way, I'm guessing you just purchase it and it'll install itself. It's a really easy aircraft to fly, and I feel like it's really good for beginners as well. So let's hop onto the interior of this aircraft. We can enable the yoke. As you can see, the internal textures aren't as great as we look into detail. Slightly less resolution than the outside of the aircraft, but the interior is very nicely detailed. It's the modelling which I really like about this aircraft. There's excellent aging on the aircraft as well, such as the yoke, where the pilot hand flies the aircraft with his left hand mostly. And let's get into the setup of this aircraft. We also have a little electronic flight bag here, and we can also enable a co-pilot, which is sat here with me. We can open up the cabin door, the baggage door, the oil door. As you can see, the little oil door, the baggage door, and the main passenger door, or the main door, sorry. We have a plethora of options that we can have for navigation and your heading indicator. So we can change it just to the default one, or the heading VOR one, I believe. I'm not too sure what that's called. We can also have a different type of GPS. So there we go. The GNS 530, the GPS 100, and the GNS 430. There's also a few little aircraft states, so if you're not too sure on how to start this aircraft, you can press these buttons: ready for takeoff, ready for start, and cold and dark. There's a few little maintenance things on here as well. And we'll just close all the doors, get rid of all the tie downs and chocks, and we can start this aircraft up. So we're going to start by turning on the batteries, putting in the fuel selector onto the left tank, increasing the mixture to full rich, turning the fuel pump on, set the mixture back, turn the fuel pump off, and then we'll turn the engine ignition to start. And then it should come alive like that. Increase the mixture back to rich, put the propeller up, and we'll increase the RPMs to about 10,000. There we go. I don't actually need the avionics at the moment, so we'll have it back onto that one. There's other really good details about this aircraft as well, such as the fan. You can hear that turning on, and even the lower setting. We're going to turn the beacon and the anti-collision lights on, turn the pitot heats on, and I think we're just going to wait for the aircraft to heat up. So as you heard, there are really nice bits of audio in this aircraft. It has actually been recorded from a real-life aircraft from an audio engineer. And say for instance, if we open up this little hatch here for the window, we can hear a slight audio change from the exterior. I feel like that's a really good part of this aircraft, is the audio. When you just want to get into this aircraft and hear the noises, and it just makes the realism a whole lot better. You can also move these little wind shades as well. Okay, so the temperatures are slightly rising now. The pressure's in the green. So we're going to start taxiing out. Let's go. I'm actually going to remove this guy for now. As you can see, the ground handling is actually very nice as well. It's got good rudder input. There are a few negatives about the handling of this aircraft, which I will get into once we're off the ground. And let's taxi on up to the runway. We'll hold short, do a little run-up checklist, and we'll take off. Parking brake is set. Fuel set to fuel pump is on. I'm going to go onto the left tank at the moment. Up to 20,000 RPMs. It's about there. I'm going to go onto the right magneto first. And then we're going to go onto the left magneto. There we go. And that's all good. Turn the fuel pump off. There's no change there. Fuel pump back on. And we'll pull the throttle all the way back to see if there's any splutters or stutters. Okay, we're going to go back onto the right tank. And let's get ready to rumble. We'll turn the landing lights on. And turn our altimeter to out. There's one thing I haven't done, and that's check the trim. So let's quickly do that. Trim needs to go a bit further, nose down. There we go. Okay, let's go. Okay, so let's start our takeoff. I'm going to slowly input that power. There are a few technical issues with the rudder as well, so we'll probably be able to see that on takeoff. As you can see, I'm not even touching the rudder, and it kicks me a little bit. But we'll pull back, and you can see where the aircraft starts to diminish in its quality. The controls do seem to be a little bit sensitive, such as the ailerons, and especially the elevator as well. For me, at least. I'm not too sure if anybody else is experiencing these issues, but as you can see, it's fine up until that point, but then as soon as I turn it a little bit extra, it then starts to become really sensitive. And the same with the elevator as well. I'm only touching it very slightly and it's moving quite a lot. Okay, so we'll go flaps up. And we'll do our turn out to downwind. Pull that power back as well. Fuel pump can come off now. I do like flying around Welshpool. It's quite nice with all the little hills and stuff. It's quite a difficult place to fly actually because it causes updrafts and stuff like that. But we should be all good. The control of this aircraft is okay when you're slightly level, but when you're taking off and landing it does get very sensitive and touchy. Obviously the textures on the inside aren't as great, and the aileron control, especially left and right, and the elevator is slightly touchy. But apart from that, I feel like this aircraft is actually very, very nice to fly. Hopefully with a few updates from Just Flight, the aircraft will be up to scratch and should be 100% complete. So let's get this aircraft back on the ground and we'll taxi it back in and we'll shut it down. Okay, we're going to go gear down. The fuel pump can come back on now. As you can see, there are a few stutters, but that's actually the simulator. Ooh. See what I mean? The aileron is very sensitive. I literally moved it just slightly and it's very, very sensitive. There we go. It's very, very sensitive. It's not a very good landing, but hopefully they improve the feel of the aircraft with the ailerons and the elevator. Turn that fuel pump off. And we're going to get taxied over to the ramp again. Okay, so let's turn off the aircraft. Set the parking brake. Turn the fuel switch off. Turn all the electrics off. And we'll turn all the lights off as well. Okay, so as you can see, this aircraft is now packed up and we are ready to leave it in the airfield. So, just a little rundown of this aircraft. Obviously, it is a very nice aircraft to fly at the moment. There are still a few little updates that need to be done, such as the ailerons and the elevator sensitivity, as it is quite hard to take off and land. And also I'd like to see a load manager being fitted into the aircraft's electronic flight bag. I'd like to see this being implemented because I feel like it would give you more of an understanding on how the plane will react instead of using the default Flight Simulator 1. The textures of course are very nice, and especially on the exterior, the 4K textures. The cost of it is actually really nice as well. It's only £30, so go over to the Just Flight store and purchase it for yourself right now. So all in all, I'm going to give this aircraft a 7 out of 10. For the quality of this aircraft, I feel like it's great, but the only downside of it is the control side of the aircraft. It sometimes feels a bit touchy when taking off and landing, but apart from that, it's actually a really nice aircraft. This is FS Madness, and you've been watching Information Alpha. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's video and review, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.